going, guys? First camping trip of the year is done. This is kind of a delayed post. We went back in February and it was a bit of a poop show. It was not anything that we were expecting at all. But before I get into all of that, just wanted to say thank you for subscribing. I'm around 890 something right now, which is awesome. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do so if the content makes sense for you to subscribe to. So this camping trip, I just bought this car and we take a trip immediately up to, it's like next to Sugarloaf Road, just outside of Boulder. And it's only about 45 minutes away from where we all live. There's snow on the trail. It's not super deep or anything like that. My buddy David has an RX 350 that's just stock and he was fine on it. So he's driving in front and I'm just behind with a couple other guys in my car. And we're driving along the trail looking for a spot. And we come down this, just a very, very slight hill. Very, very slight hill. And we decide like, we're going to turn back because there's other guys that are going to be joining us that are driving sedans and they might not be able to make it this far or whatever. So we turn around. Now I'm in front. We come back up that hill and I get stuck. And it's basically just a snowdrift that kind of piled up on that hill. So we're trying to get myself out. We use some of our firewood and put them behind my tires and pop it in 4-low and get in reverse. Eventually I make it out. And then going back up that hill, I decide to stay in 4-low like a smarty. And then I basically just dig myself in deeper. And we didn't think that it was going to be any deeper than it already was. But I'm at 2.5-inch lift with the Proud Rhino rods and then off-road height. So car is pretty high up. And when I'm opening my door, the snow is right at the bottom of the door. So it's pretty deep. And the second time that I've gotten stuck, the snow has just compacted into the control arms, just all up in the suspension, and it's not great. So another car comes up, and it's a Toyota. This doesn't matter though because they didn't have anything to get me out, to tow me or anything like that. They just had an extra shovel, which was awesome and super thankful for that. Side note, the driver of that Tacoma comes out, but before he walks up to us, he takes a picture of my car and then offers help. So apologies to the Land Rover community for adding to our shame in being stuck somewhere. So we had my ice scraper, their shovel, and then one of our other friends' shovels that we were using, and we just dug out of the control arms, and eventually I was able to get out. And then instead of just driving through that thing again, I just went up on the hill and came back around. So we avoided that. The whole time, I didn't get any footage of any of this stuff because the whole time I was just worried that my car is going to be stuck out here because there was just no sign of hope at all. So as I'm popping it into 4-low, trying to get out and really just gassing it, and these guys are pushing my car forward or backward or whatever, there's just no hope of it getting out. So I'm worried that, man, this car that I just bought is going to be stuck here, and this really sucks. But just to preface a little bit, simply, I got stuck because, one, I went out with all-season tires, the Cross Climates, which did fine just on the normal trail, but like as far as deep snow goes, just not great, at least for this vehicle. And the LR3 is pretty heavy, and I had other pieces of gear in here and other people. I'm going to give myself all the excuses because my buddy David kept making fun of me after, saying that, oh, I would never get stuck because I have a Lexus RX 350 and these don't get stuck. So, granted, his car is a lot lighter and maybe he would have been smart. He probably would have been smarter than me in like just approaching that hill a lot stronger, or that snowdrift a lot stronger than I did. And he probably would have made it just fine. Aside from him thinking that Lexus's or his RX 350 doesn't get stuck, whatever, is just a weird opinion. He has other weird opinions, one of them being he will categorize a food either as a soup or a sandwich. I'm going to bash on him a little bit. If you know David, if you know the David that I'm talking about, he's serious. He will debate you on this. He will categorize a food either as a soup or a sandwich. Please bring this up to him because he will get a crack out of it, and then he will debate you because he's serious about it. He's serious about this. I have this other friend named We'll call him Sam, but he also drives a Toyota, two Toyotas. He's double weird. He likes unfrosted strawberry flavored Pop Tarts, which is weird. That's crazy, right? That's not a normal thing. Which would you rather be? Someone who drives something reliable, like a Toyota, or someone who supports their local Land Rover mechanic? Which one's more noble, right? Me, that's me. So anyway, Toyota owner is weird. We get back to camp, or we find a spot that we decide to stay at, and everything's good during the day and everything. We're hanging out and all that stuff. And then we go to bed around 10, and then around like 11:30 or something, there's these crazy wind gusts happening, and it's rocking my car back and forth a ton. And two other guys are sleeping in their cars, but two of our other friends decided to sleep outside because they're manly men. One of the guys' tarps, he tied above him, like with a tree and stuff. It blows away. His backpack blows away with his keys, his wallet, and his phone. And that's around midnight. So he's searching for all that stuff. I can't remember if he went to look for that stuff that night or if he waited till morning to try and look around, because it's obviously super dark. So that's all happening. Some other people's gear blew away that they found the next morning. But that's not even the worst part of that whole trip. The worst part is that, I don't know about you, but sometimes I will fall asleep to a movie and I save the movie to my phone, but it's saved not in English. So I had to listen to The Hobbit in Russian, I think. So that was the worst thing. I did record some footage of the wind that next morning, and that morning it was saying that the winds were around 27 to 30 miles an hour. So the gusts the night before were most likely around 50. Interesting trip. Very interesting trip. We're actually going to go back to that same spot again. So hopefully it doesn't turn out as bad as that trip was. I'm going to make some adjustments to make sure that my vehicle's good to go and that I don't get stuck again, because that feeling is just not great ever. The first thing I'm probably going to do is just get better all-terrain tires, or all-terrain tires in general. But I hope you enjoyed the story, and I hope you learned what not to do, which is to buy an LR3 and go off-roading. Be like my buddy David, just buy a Lexus RX 350. Thanks so much for listening to the story, and hopefully I have a not as crummy one to tell the next time. But thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and have a great day.